you guys were pretty unanimous. You want me to take out the fry and put them in a separate tank. So the people want what the people want. I mean, I'm sort of somewhere in the middle. Part of me wants to take them out because I can see the numbers dwindling down already. And the other part of me is like, no, let them eat them all, which sounds horrible, but it's part of the learning process for the parents. But then the other part is like, well, it's not going to hurt just to take a few out and see if we can get them to do well on their own, is it? And this is what I'm thinking. Up here, I've got like a snail tank. Now, I always feed it sort of extra, so this is very hard to not get reflections. Hang on. No, that didn't work either. There we go, that's a bit better. Right, it would help if I just removed some of these floating plants, wouldn't it? Anyway, yeah, we've got a nice little snail tank here. Now, there is like detritus and things down on the bottom because I feed the tank all the time. So there's gonna be plenty for the little babies to peck at. And I'm thinking just pick 5 out, drop them in there and just sit back and feed the tank as well a little bit. I've already got a sort of tiny little flake food, like a crushed up flake that I pipette feed into them. Well, I can just lay that in there or squirt that in there quite regularly. I mean, it'll settle down, they'll peck at it, and they'll have a food source. Now, there is, of course, a risk with this that mum goes full psycho mode, just kills all of them, and that's the end of that. Well, no, because I'd have the ones that I'd saved. Now, the only reason I'm even risking this, because I wouldn't otherwise, is because I'm already seeing the numbers sort of dwindle a little bit. I think there's probably about half as much as there was like a day and a half ago. So I've got a feeling if I leave it longer, they'll be gone again. Now, some people will argue that that is part of it. You just have to let it happen. The other people will be like, well, why are you letting it happen? Again, I'm somewhere in the middle. So I'm just going to take some out, a few, about 5 or 6, just put them in that tank. Come and check up on them regularly. I mean, it's not going to be that exciting, is it? They don't like flash. Next day they're like grown again. The day after that they're massive. It's going to take some time, but I might not even be able to do it. I mean, even professional breeders sometimes have trouble actually bringing up fry without a mother. So for me, first time, I don't know. I don't even know if that's actually likely or not. But it's worth a try, isn't it? Before she gobbles them all, or maybe it's not her gobbling them all. Maybe at night time the other 2 are going around the back and picking them off. Or maybe they're swimming out into the open. Right, so here we are. Like, you know, there's still a good amount there, it looks like. There's quite a few down at the bottom there as well. But last time, this whole section was just full up with them all the way to the top, wasn't it? Oh, now I'm looking at her looking at me and she's parenting well. I feel bad, but if they're getting picked off anyway, I mean, it's not really going to hurt, is it? I just get down there with a little shrimp net, take a quick scoop and see what I pick out, and then move them across, I think. Right, there we go, the tank is prepped. We can actually see in it. Now this is going to work out perfect, I think, because I can overfeed the tank to ensure that the fry have got food, but any extra, the snails are just going to eat and multiply even more, which is exactly what I want. So let's just scoop some out and put them straight in. Okay, this does feel kind of awful, but they're not going to survive otherwise. Oh, she's pecking at me. I'm sorry, baby. No, I don't like doing this. I'm going to do it a different way. Can't get them with that. I'm going to use the turkey baster. Right, turkey baster coming down. I think that's working much better. Yeah, I've got quite a few now. Right then, let's see if that worked. See if we've got any in here. Squeezing it now. Yeah, I can see them. There's one. There's another. There's one. There's another one. Any more? Yep, there's another one. Oh, there we go. There's quite a few actually. Right, there's plenty in there. So the fry look are already fizzing around at the bottom and looking around for little bits of food and stuff in between. So I'm going to sprinkle some food down there now just to ensure that there is something for them. I mean, there should be. I'm always sprinkling food into this tank, so the snails don't eat all of it. And here we go, look, I've got some food here, look, just to spray down into that section. Got quite a lot of food, in fact. There we go, look, all at the front there. I'm going to spray it about the whole tank, though, just to make sure that there's always some food somewhere. Like I say, the snails will eat it if the fish don't anyway, so all good. And then a nice bit of feeding as well for mum and the babies. Gonna peck me, she is. Look, I'll just leave that food down there for her. There we go, look, she's munching at it, munching. There's going to be loads of bits as well down on the bottom for the fry. They'll be able to peck at that now. I mean, obviously they're quite big, but little bits are going to break off, aren't they? To be honest with you, I have to say I did not enjoy that one bit, but it's done now. Maybe that'll work, maybe it won't. All I know is I will not be doing that again. I won't be doing that in any other tank again. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel right. Do you know what I mean? But is it right to let them die potentially? It's such a tough one, isn't it? But that's it, I've given it a try. Can't say I haven't tried it, you know? And not to forget about you guys too. Let's give you some food. Right, watch this. They literally bite it out of my hands. Look, ready? See, they're not even getting the food. They're literally just going for my fingers. They got quite a oh, there's a bit there, guys. There we go. They've got quite like a aggressive bite on them. It's quite punchy, you know? It makes me jump every time. Yeah, there we go. Look, a good amount of food in there now. This stuff will also get blown around the back a bit more, so there's plenty in there for the fry and for the adults. I'm trying to keep the adults like stocked up with food, especially these front two, just so they don't go predator mode. The tank is overgrown. There's no doubt about that. It does need hacking back everywhere, but I just don't want to disturb it at this time, leaving it, letting it do its thing. The water quality is brilliant, so yeah, let's just leave it for the bristlenose there. Look at that, see that algae on there? Wow, oh, this is a funny angle, hang on, there you go. See that algae? I could quite easily get rid of that with some glutaraldehyde and the CO2 booster that I use from API, but it's not hurting. Like I said, I don't want to mess around with anything at this stage. Oh yeah, here's an interesting one as well. I've managed to get a ton more light into the Amazon aquarium because this, I just realised, this piece of lily was actually fallen down. So look, I've had to cable tie it all the way around that piece of wood just to keep it upright. It's absolutely massive now, they both are. But they're keeping the water amazing, and that's the main thing. Look, Colombians, so nice, aren't they? So yeah, there's quite, maybe there's too much light in here now. Does it lose its effect? I don't know. I should have stopped all these reflections, but I just want to give you guys a quick little snapshot. I think the tank needs a good water change actually. I might do some maintenance on this soon. Like for instance, this Amazon sword here probably needs a good hack back, doesn't it? Because it's just gone and vroom. Those are the proper terms for big plants. So the really good news is the fish look so good, don't they? All of them mega healthy. The Bolivian rams doing so well. We've still got all three. There's the couple, and there's the little sort of third wheel. But look at the colours on them, looking brilliant. So yeah, I've not had the best of luck with rams in general. Maybe that's because I choose the German blues quite a lot of the time, and they're renowned for sort of poor breeding. And you know, bad genetics that can cause certain sort of internal parasite issues. But apparently the Bolivians are a lot more sort of purebred, and to be honest, that's shown. Look at that male, look at him, what a stunning fish. For me personally, the Bolivian rams are actually my favourite of the rams, and I've obviously got 3 in here, but I think I'd like to do a setup just for those with no other fish in them as well. There's definitely something I'm going to consider in the future, maybe just a nice sort of little group that I can get a breeding pair out of, and then I'll take out the additional ones and I can add them to this bigger group. And also, some of you might remember, some of you might not, but I lost a few of my Colombian tetras when I was doing a full setup change. But look, they're almost the same size now. That's the original one right there, and that's like a new one. But look, then there's not a lot in them now, so we managed to get them up to size in pretty much 3 months, I'd say. I mean, they're not up to size. There's probably another 3 months until they're that size, but look at the colours. They're one of my favourite fish, the Colombian tetras, and I'm sure you can see why. We've got blues, we've got orange, we've got red, and they're just like little piranhas. I always say that. Everyone who comes in here is always drawn to these fish straight away. They normally go, oh wow, look at those, and then they see the Bolivian rams or the scissor tails. But I suppose it's because they've got that flash of white on their fins. Yeah, I suppose actually all of them, to be honest. As a whole, they act so nice and they look so good together. We've still obviously got our good little group of cories down here. There's a panda cory there. Oh, there's one in the background. Oh, 2 in the background. So yeah, oh, bristlenose making a rare appearance as well. Hello, buddy. So yeah, there's some of the less sort of frequently seen specimens. Not by me, I see them all the time because I know where to look. But if someone comes in to have a look, they often forget to look down on the substrate. So I always have to say, oh, look at these, look at these, look at these. And then they're like, oh, they're cute. I mean, everyone thinks panda cories are cute. You can't not look at a panda cory and go, I don't really like it. You have to like a panda cory, don't you? Look at that, stunner. So the dirted tank, which was an experiment by the way, using the pond soil, has been set up for 2.5 months now. It's gone crazy. I think this is the one that I tried and worked. You know, I tried a different one, the one that had the albino cherry barbs in. I tried that, remember, with the pond soil as well. I put way too much in and it just was constant algae. I couldn't get rid of it at all. This one absolutely nailed it. It's doing immensely well. It's doing so well. There's no space in there. I'm gonna have to get this cut right back, aren't I? So we've got Rotala hra and Rotala macrandra there, just shot its way to the top in no time at all. We also need a water top up, and some of these ones at the back here I just need to hack out because they're not doing very well at all. They're just restricting all the flow. There's basically no flow in the tank. We've still got our male golden ram here who's chewing on something, and there's the female. Yay, they get along really well. They don't fight. No spawning yet that I know of. Anyway, they could well, but let's be honest. How would I even know? First job, I'm going to get a Rotala and the macrandra out. It's covering up everything. I can't see what to do. Right, now we can nicely see what we're doing, but we've lost a little bit of the red, but you know, it's necessary, had to be done. To be honest, I'm going to need to do the same with the background plants as well, because they're already the surface. Right, there we go, we're all hacked back, looking good again. It's going to grow in no time. I left a few plants because they're all healthy and looking good. Now we need to be careful because obviously taking away so many plants like that, we might get a little bit of an algae sort of bloom just while they're recovering and starting to grow again. Might not though, because it's not a really bright light on this tank, is it? The good news is though, the tank is completely in balance. There is basically no algae on any of the wood or plants, which means that we hopefully won't get any sort of generate either. But if it does, remember, use like a CO2 booster, something like that. Just start getting that into the water column, and I find that it sort of stops any outbreaks of algae or anything like that. Hang on, where on earth are all our fish gone? Okay, there's the ember tetras back there. Where's the rams? Oh, there we go. There's the golden ram. Obviously, me getting right in there and moving everything has spooked him a little bit. Oh, there we go. There's the female around there. Sometimes doing some maintenance like this and topping up the water can actually spur on a little bit of spawning as well, because basically we've changed the environment, haven't we? And when you change the environment for certain species, it triggers them to want to sort of reproduce as a defense mechanism. So hopefully we can get that here. There's plenty of flat spots on all these rocks, and at the back there's loads of sort of bare sand that hasn't got gravel on. I've found before that all my rams kept laying eggs to start with in little flat spots on the sand or digging out a little crater. Some of you are saying put a slate in there, put a pot in there, but I've done that before actually, and they laid eggs on the sand, and I've spoke to some reputable breeders as well, and they can also confirm that they like to just go on the sand. You can make up this like perfect mating environment, and then they just do it where they want anyway. Interesting thing about this tank, in this room it's the only one that's heated, obviously because we've got the rams. They require a warmer temperature than just the room temperature. Only a bit more, to be honest, but still I wanted to make sure it was the right environment for them. Now as a result, this tank actually evaporates, and I need to top it up 3 times, if not 4 times as much as all the other tanks. Like, I think the last time I topped up this tank over here, the Sparkling Grami tank, I can't even remember, to be honest, it's been that long. But that's just to do with like sort of temperature of the air and the water being different. It just causes evaporation. Look at me trying to pretend I knew the science behind it. I don't. But these guys are doing well though. Look, see, last time he is doing that, but he's not being aggressive, is he? He's just following her, just showing off his strength. It would be great to see some babies and some eggs from... Where's he gone? Oh, from these guys. But you know, maybe we won't. Or it could be the fact that he's acting aggressive in this area to all the fish, that there are eggs. How do I know? I can't see in this sort of setup. It's not perfectly designed for breeding, is it? But it is beautiful, and I do enjoy just watching it. Right, it's now day 2 since I took out the fry. We've run into a little bit of a snag. So I'm guessing that Mum felt that this area around here is now compromised because she's moved them here, which is not good. It's like right out in the open. There's not a huge amount of them left either. That could be because she is in the process of moving them. So she keeps going backwards and forwards now, seeing off these guys. That's because I'm stood here It's making them think I'm going to feed them over in this corner. I'm just going to stay over this side, and that should keep them with us. So there's the two that aren't sort of currently breeding or laying eggs or anything. There's the female one at the back, I'm pretty sure. Well, that's the female one. I don't know, look at that dorsal fin. It sort of curves right back. That's the smallest of them all though, so yeah, that's probably that must be the male, and we've got two larger females, this one here. So the dorsal fin, look, goes to a point but doesn't curve back too much over that fin, that tail fin. That one does it all the way back, it goes. So there is our male. That's conclusive. Nobody argue with me. Yeah, so there's the other female there, and here is where she's moved these new eggs. There's quite a few still, don't get me wrong. I'm zoomed right in, it's a bit shaky, so forgive me for that, but there's nowhere near, obviously, the amount that we started with. Now, is this a good spot for her? Who even knows? It's probably not the best area, is it? But it is in a corner at least. Hopefully we can get some more to survive. Again, if not, pretty sure this is all going to happen again. But I've definitely changed the dynamic, haven't I, by removing some, because she was completely happy in that back corner. You live and learn, don't you? This is all a learning experience for me. Even this part of it I'm still enjoying because I've never seen anything like this before. So cool to watch. Look at the colours from back here, look at that. Wow. I know I keep saying it, but gorgeous. Let me just turn it down a little bit. Sometimes if you have like the brightness turned up too high, then you lose some of the colours and you just get that sheen. But now look at that. Oh. So yeah, maybe this is going to go to plan. Maybe it isn't. All I know is I'm trying both methods really, aren't I? The first time, I don't think it worked too well, although we did see a couple of the fries still at the background area when the mum had moved away. Maybe they're still in there, you know? It is likely that that could happen. I mean, there's a lot of plants in here, isn't there? Oh, and guess what? Those of you interested in this weekend's build video, it's done. It's ready. So just off to the side of me there, which I've now blurred out because I don't want to spoil it, is the new rainbow fish aquarium. I love it. It's turned out so good. The fish are already in there. You might be able to see them through the blur swimming around. No, you can't. Hope you can't. Yeah, anyway, that is coming up. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you click the links above or in the description. Go to my shop, have a look at some of the merch, maybe buy some if you want to help support the channel further and get yourself something nice for Christmas. In the meantime, look after yourself, and I will see you at the weekend for the rainbow fish aquarium build.